Welcome to Life, Laughter, Divorce Podcast, episode 84. I am your host, Leanne Linsky.
And I'm the boyfriend.
Welcome back to another wonderful week of divorce. We're happy to be here, as always.
As always.
And while you're out there tuning in, and by tuning in, I mean touching your touchscreen appropriately, of course, make sure that you rate, review, and subscribe. And check out the website at lifelaughterdivorce.com. We have an online store, and you can book your free life coaching session with me. So make sure you get it while it's hot.
Are they hot?
They're hot.
Like temperature hot or what? What's going on?
So hot. They're hot as our candles when you set them on fire.
Boo.
So make sure you do all of that. Unless, of course, you're driving. Here's our PSA for the week. Don't text and drive. Don't do any of that. Hey, boyfriend, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Have you ever dated anybody outside of this country?
Have I ever dated anybody outside of this country? Like literally went out on a date with somebody in another country?
No, like had a relationship with somebody from another country that doesn't live here permanently in the States.
Oh, okay. So I've dated other people from other countries, but I've not had a significant relationship with someone from other than the U.S. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because
How about you?
No, I don't believe I have.
Well, what did you tell me earlier?
I'm trying to think back. I'm like, have I? No, I don't think I have. No, I haven't. I mean, we've had some guests on in the past who are from other countries or have dated internationally.
Yeah.
But that's not something that I've ever done. In fact, I find it challenging to date somebody outside my zip code. You know what I mean? Like, I have dated long distance. That never worked out. Didn't like,
How far?
Cross country from East Coast to West Coast.
Okay.
That was terrifying.
Yeah.
From New York to Oklahoma.
Okay. Right.
Okay, yeah, there you go. And that answered that.
I think the furthest I've ever done is 90 miles.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and what was I thinking either time? Because like just living in New York, you can't date someone outside of your own borough. Like dating, if you live in Brooklyn, you date in Brooklyn. If you live in Queens, you date in Queens. If you in Manhattan, you know, it's not like if you live in the Bronx, you're not going to date someone on Staten Island, or you are. Good luck. You're going to be most of your time on the subway or the ferry. But that just seems crazy, right? So what was I thinking? Dating somebody, you know, thousands of miles
from a different country or from a different state.
Yeah, like that's challenging in itself. So I can't imagine dating someone internationally. Plus, not only just the travel and the expenses of the travel, but also in countries where you don't speak the same language, unless you're both like fairly fluent in the language. I think that would be important, right?
Communication's important. We've discussed that here.
Yeah, I mean, that would be like really super helpful.
Yeah, but from the flip side of that, there's also the allure of it, because it's always like, ooh, dating a foreigner.
I mean, it is very exciting, very adventurous, very sexy. You know, and like if there's a chemistry, I mean, that just adds more fuel to that fire, right?
Right.
So I totally get it.
And that's dating. To get into an actual relationship, though, there are lots of rules and things that you've got to think about, which are kind of hard to manage.
Right. Well, because there's the legalities of it, the actual law, because they're different from country to country.
Right. But sometimes that shouldn't matter for a relationship unless you're living there. So if you move there, there's visas and living and work visas. Can you get a work visa if you're there with somebody? I don't know what they are. I know our country has some interesting laws for that.
And it's just not something that you inherently know.
Right.
It's something that you find out as you step into something like that, and then you try and figure it out, and then you reach out and ask for help and ask people, and
don't let your visa run out.
Right. Or you learn the hard way. But because that's not just something we figure out. Now, if we were in Europe and we were, you know, from a European country or another country, we'd probably have more know-how when it comes to stuff like that, because
maybe
that's the possibility, because, you know, I think about the times I've traveled in Europe, it's like traveling from state to state. It's, you know, smaller areas.
Well, smaller areas, but the borders are now open, so you can just go across the border without having to go through the whole custom things for every country at least.
Right.
So it's very different than what it was 20 or so years ago.
So it is very different. And then in some countries it's easier than others, but you'd have to know, right?
Right.
So yeah, I'm just always very curious about like, how does that work? You know, once you get through all of the like excitement and then you have to figure out the logistics.
I'm going to with an uneducated guess here, just say a lot of the excitement's great and it probably makes these relationships last for a short term. But then when you get into these logistics, it can be difficult.
Yeah. And
especially language, if you don't speak fluently. And
yeah, especially, okay, so here's my thing. Like, let's say I fell in love with somebody in another country. First of all, boyfriend, you'd be very upset. Sorry. But let's say I fell... Don't roll your eyes at me. So let's say, like, for example, one of us had a relationship with somebody in another country and we decided to pick up and move. Like, how does that happen? And then also, you don't know anybody there. Like, you know, it's hard moving just from, you know, it can be challenging moving from state to state and not knowing somebody. Because you imagine going somewhere and not knowing, like, the language and the culture and your way around.
But it could be fun.
It could be fun. It could be exciting. And that's why I really enjoyed talking to this week's guest, because she is really fun and she is really exciting.
And really adventurous.
Very adventurous. I mean, that's like an understatement of the year. So this week's guest, she's a Long Beach local. She is a stand-up comedian.
I've seen her perform.
Yes, you have. When I was producing a show, she was in our show. She's a very funny woman. She calls herself a laugh artist. And I can't wait for you guys to hear her story. It is really incredible. And the second half, boyfriend?
The second, so the first half we get into some of her relationships, but the second half is just wow. The boyfriend and I are still talking about it. And Kathleen, she's so much fun. You'll get that really quick. So I'd like you to meet Kathleen Parsons without further ado. Kathleen, welcome to Life, Laughter, Divorce podcast.
Well, thank you for having me, Miss Leanne.
Yes, we're very happy to be here. Boyfriend's here again because we're doing another one in person.
Another live interview.
Yeah.
I actually thought he didn't exist. You call him boyfriend. So good to know you exist, my man.
Yes.
Hello.
He likes his anonymity. Most people around me do like their anonymity.
Yeah?
Yeah.
She sounds like trouble.
She has a blogger called Momnonymous.
Yes. Nobody has any idea who that is.
Because she beats her children on a regular basis and doesn't want anybody to call. What is it? That's PCA?
Right. No, because she doesn't want identity theft on the internet.
Oh, got it. Yes.
So everybody use fake names. So yeah, we're excited to have you here. And I've been wanting to talk to you because we met a while back, a couple years ago when I was producing a show over here on 2nd Street, right?
Yes. And I thank you for that. It was my coming out California show.
Yeah.
Because I used to live here, moved to the mountains, did a bunch of shows up there, still exists. Check out the Egyptian Theater. Anyway, and so my first show was with you and I got to walk to the show. That was the most exciting part about it. I swore I was going to get hammered just because I could.
Well, it was 25 miles, so you totally could have. No. But you live right down the street from the show.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. And well, that's good to know. It was your like coming out party. And I'm glad to hear what you were just sharing with about your website. You are very secret. So you're coming out. You have kept a secret.
It's all a big secret. Where I do my shows, when I do my shows. I don't even know actually when I'm doing this.
And we're laughing about this because Kathleen was just telling us that she had booked a show and it's at a secret venue only to VIP invite only guests.
That is correct. But you know, in LA, they say things to you like, you know this, when you're a comic, people will say, you mean like in front of people? on a stage. And I think to myself, no, what do you think I mean? In my shower. And then I go on tour and I do the living room. So that's kind of my thing. We're going to be on tour in the living room, I guess. The
Awesome.
super secret.
And usually the next response people will give, well, people at work tell them I'm funny. I'm funny all the time when we go out for drinks.
That's the guy that's never funny on stage, correct?
Yes. Or on a date. That
Sounds like you have a little experience there, my dear.
Yeah, and tell the boyfriend. He's hilarious.
The boyfriend.
No, I'm not funny. Don't try to be.
I notice you have an off button for his mic right there at your fingertips. So in case he's not funny.
Yeah. I get the off button for on the podcast. He gets the off button for me.
In real life?
In real life.
Listen, you better share that with every man on the planet. He wants to know, where is that button? I think there's batteries required, though, and some inserting. I'm just guessing.
Right? Somewhere behind the back of the hair. So you have been married before.
Yes. Sort of a tricky question. I officially, I guess I'm still married, although I haven't seen the guy in 20 some years.
So it's worked out really well. For
you know what? I say all the time, the secret to a long marriage is to have your husband live in another country with his other wife. So that works out real well.
So is he remarried?
I heard he was, but I haven't seen him in a really long time. As a matter of fact, I would divorce him, but I'm not sure I know his real name.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I can't find the guy, so
here's what we're doing, going back in time. Let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so you're single, Kathleen. Quite a few years ago you met him?
I lived in San Francisco, and it seemed like all my friends were from another country. And all anybody could talk about was the acquirement of the green card. And I actually thought that I needed one by the time I turned 21. I kid you not. I was convinced. I was like, oh my God, I got to get a green card. How come I don't know about this? And so I married this Brazilian who happened to be my boyfriend, and he was super hot. And hey,
Okay. How old were you?
Probably 24.
Okay. So you got married at 24. You married, and how long? Okay. Where did you meet him? In the circle of friends where everybody was from another country? Oh my God,
that's an even better story. We went to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers at the Stone back in the day when they first started, and I couldn't stand them. I'm sorry, I love you guys now, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Love, love, love. But man, it was like a mosh pit. Never seen such a thing. So I wandered out across the street into a strip club. And there he was on stage.
Oh.
So I went and got $100 in 20s and put it in his G-string, and then told him he had to give it back to me after the show.
And did he?
He did.
Wow.
Really?
But then he cost me millions of dollars in the end. The man still owes me like 20 grand, but that's beside the point. So that is the beginning of our long and toward romance and relationship.
Yeah, that's pretty romantic.
Yeah.
Very sweet. It's like a movie. So you met him. He ends up, you give him $100 in 20s. He gives it back to you. You start dating, I guess.
What's really funny about that is, God, you're bringing it all up. I lived on Haight Street, and we went to a neighbor's house on Haight Street. And I walked in, and there he was, prancing around the house, once again, naked. And he was
in your neighbor's house?
Yeah, that happened a lot. It's Haight Street.
Yeah.
Okay, people are naked and hanging upside down and doing yoga and whatever on the roof, whatever. Did I mention it was Haight and Ashbury? Okay. And so he was at this party and flitting around, and probably had some party glitter that he wanted to favor upon me. And I tried to resist him. He was so adorable. I just couldn't believe it was real. And it didn't take much longer before we ended up living together.
Wow. So you ended up living, how long did you live together before you married?
A couple of years, but we actually went to Brazil together, kind of on the whim. And I stayed there till I got deported. So we were there about a year, and that was fantastic. I call myself an official waterfall hunter. That was my job while I was there.
What? Okay, what did you do as a waterfall hunter?
I mean, all we did was just like borrow somebody's motorcycle and go out in the jungle and find some trail. And I have a really good sense of finding waterfalls, or maybe he made me think that and he already knew where they were. So we would go travel around and find a waterfall. And that's what we did all day, every day for like a year.
You didn't work? Like your boyfriend and I
Well, you know
like,
what? Here's the secret to that.
Life?
Back then, they had a thing called cruzeiros, and then it switched to cruzados. But either way, the dollar, we took like a stack of hundies, and I'm telling you, I lived for a year on like $800. And I bought all kinds of stuff, mostly the food, because I wanted to try everything, the crazy juices and the fruits and, that kind of thing. So yeah, you just go to the local little grocery guy, and that's considered the black market. They're happy to see dollars. So
Really?
they give you your change back. And the longer you hold on to the dollar, that's how we made our money.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a life. So you did that for a year. And then how did you end up getting deported?
Well,
Okay, I see there's a story here.
we
Look at the boyfriend's wheels turning, and he's just like,
I don't even know if any of this is interesting, actually, is it?
Oh, I'm fascinated.
Really? Yeah. See, it's just a day in the life for me. I mean, I'll just tell you what happened last week later, but what happened? Oh, so we'd been there for a minute, and oh my God, you guys think the DMV here is bad? You should do that shit in Brazil, okay? Man,
is everybody hanging upside down and naked?
Oh my God, they go to lunch and they're hanging, they never come back. It's like, so we lived like up in the mountains. It was my favorite place because that's where the good waterfalls are. We take a bus for like 10 hours, come down to Rio to do the paperwork, because now we're gonna become dual citizens, and then we'll do our paperwork there instead of in America, So every appointment we had, we were missing a paper. We'd have to go back up the mountain, mail it. I mean, it was like they had telephones that were like one ringy dingy. The lady plugged into the thing, and they came and got me. And 2 hours later, so I thought, I should probably check on my plane ticket and see what's going on with that. And it was a day before it had expired, and it was $400 American to change it or do anything. And as I told you, that's a lot of money there.
Yeah.
And I couldn't change it. And then, so I had to get on this plane and leave my dog and my man and my waterfalls and my new life. I mean, I would have stayed forever probably. So I go to look at my passport, and my passport's expired. And I thought, man, I don't want to miss this plane, because that's not going to be a good thing. So I turn myself into the federales. They fingerprint me. They tell me I have 24 hours to get out of the country. They stamp my passport, my virgin passport that had no stamps in it. Now says deportation all over it. And fingerprinted me and told me I had 24 hours to get out. And I was like, here's my plane ticket. I'm leaving. Don't come after me. Apparently, to this day, I still owe the Brazilian government 2,000 cruzeiros, which I'm sure they have no clue about until they hear this podcast.
Right. Now you're in trouble.
We're talking about before computers. God, I'm old.
What? Before computers, mine just exploded.
I know. Jeez, you guys really, I'm not that old. I look great for 70, though, don't you think?
You look
great.
Awesome.
So, holy crap. So he didn't come back with you?
Oh, God. Jeez.
So
that's a whole nother. Go ahead, boyfriend.
Yeah.
Get in here.
So you come back by yourself. He stays, and is that the last time you see him? No, obviously not.
No, it kind of gets better as it gets worse. He seemed to think he was some kind of drug dealer, and he was his best client. He never made any money. So when I got to America, when I went to get on that plane, he said, we're going to sell everything. And he did. And we had millions of cruzeiros. And he's going to buy some cocaine. And I'm going to get on the plane with this. This is his plan. I'm going to get on the plane with this. Now, I can lie, but I can't lie for my life. You know what I'm saying? So, God, man, he was Brazilian and couldn't score cocaine in Rio de Janeiro. There's a sign you're a bad drug dealer. I'm just saying. So he gets all this stuff, and I kept making it. I made this deal with him. I was like, listen, man, here's the deal. If you get it and I do any, I can't carry it. If you get it and I don't do any, oh, sure, I'd be happy to jam my cavities full of that and carry it across the border for you. So guess what I did the minute he got it? I was like, sniffed up a few lines and said, oh my God, I can't carry anything. And sure enough, when I got to the airport, they held that plane so they could search me high and low. They just knew I was freaking amped up and ready to go.
Whoa. And so did he get on the plane also?
No, I mean, I got on the plane by myself.
Okay.
So cut to like 6 months later, he ends up in America at my mom's house. We're in Ohio. God, this is also incriminating, isn't it? These are all fictional names, okay? So he comes to my mother's house finally and then wants to get the stuff sent again with the thing. Let's get some stuff sent. Some illegal activity sent in the federal mail to my mother's house. I am not having any of this, but I can't convince this guy. I'm like, look, man, I can't keep doing this. You're going to get caught and I'm going to say I told you so and it's going to be over. So guess what he did? Got some stuff sent to my mother's house. Dead of winter, we're sitting there and we lived on this corner and my mom goes, who are these strange men surrounding that house?
Oh, no.
As like 18 units pull up all over the place. So I know what's happening. And I say, go get rid of it. Go, 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 go. I don't care what you're doing, asshole, flush it, And he comes back down. We're coming down the stairs at the same time. And I'm like, I didn't hear the toilet flush. This is all you, dude. This is all you. And sure enough, they dragged him away. And that was the last time I ever saw him.
Wow.
Whoa.
I flew to San Francisco, sent a bunch of money back for his lawyer. But, at that point, it was over. And I was like, man, come on, dude. Maybe I'd hang out with you for a good Coke dealer, but you're a shitty one.
So what? Nothing happened to you or your mom?
No, because, it was him. He took it like I told him to. It's all you. And my poor mother, oh, my God.
Oh.
She thought he was the sweetest thing, too. Ooh, he was a sweetheart, but, dumb as a box of rocks when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah. So that was the last time you saw him when the federales took him away.
Absolutely. Yes, it was. I never even saw him in jail. I mean, I felt so bad because, my mom's house could be in jeopardy here.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything.
So I took off and went to San Francisco and just like rounded up funds quickly and sent, I'm living on a floor just so I could get him some money. And, he wanted to, there was no way he was getting out of it. I mean, he didn't even finalize the marriage and already he's
when did the marriage happen on all of this?
That happened, I think, before Brazil. And the weird thing about that is my mom's a big...
You think it happened before Brazil?
Yes, of course it did, because we were there to do the paperwork. Yes, it's all coming back to me. So do you know who Frank Lloyd Wright is, the architect?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my mom's a big fan, and she has this coffee table book, and I'm flipping through it, and I'm like, God dang, that building looks familiar. Civic Center, San Rafael. I was like, oh my God, I got married there. That's where I got married. Frank Lloyd Wright and me. We got something going on there.
Wait, which place?
In San Rafael, the Civic Center. It was designed and built, I guess you could say, by Frank Lloyd Wright. So have a little historic connection. Boyfriend still can't get over.
He's over here scratching
Listen,
his
I
head
know how to
going,
dump a guy, okay?
Wow.
Let me just say.
You're in San Francisco sending money back to him. Is he in Ohio? Where's he at?
He's in jail in Ohio. And apparently the dumbass got the phone number for his lawyer off the inside of the jail wall, which I'm just going to guess is a bad recommendation.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And you never heard from him. So you sent money. Do you know if he even received it?
How long did he go? How long did he spend in prison?
Yeah.
He was like in county jail awaiting some kind of trial. And, I don't know, a couple months. And I think his lawyer cut some kind of deal where the best way out of it for him was to just flee the country.
Basically send him
As a
back.
matter of fact, the government might even have paid for his ticket because I didn't. At least I don't know if I did. I don't know.
Wow. So he was there for a couple months, and then you assume or think that he went back to Brazil.
Well,
and
he got deported officially.
Got deported and done.
Yeah, he was
right.
like, I thought my passport had a lot of Ucky stamps on it. I'm sure his was just freaking blacked out.
Yeah.
So I'd love to find him though. Hey. Oh, I shouldn't say his name.
No.
Tudo bem, cara? Saudade de você, minha esposa. That's Portuguese for I miss you, baby. You're still my husband.
So you married him. Do you still have your marriage certificate and everything?
You know, it comes in handy when you're buying car insurance. They give you a marriage discount. And the guy never believes me on the phone. He's like, are you married? I'm like, no. And then like halfway through the conversation, I'm like, wait. I am married. I'm like, bullshit. Send some paperwork over. Yes, I have a marriage certificate.
All right. So we don't know where he is. I'm sure he's on Facebook.
Well, hold on. I want to time stamp
Yeah,
on this. So
okay.
how long was this from when you guys met? Like, was this like 4 years later? So you knew him, got married, you went to Brazil for a year,
God,
you came
it
back.
seems like a decade of this guy. What was going on? We left the country. We ended up back in Ohio. We had gone some other places. Like we went to Hawaii for a while and came back. So how long were we together? I'm kind of clueless. Like maybe 4 years at the max. Yeah.
That's a wild 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so you end up going back to San Francisco. You're sleeping on a friend's floor. You're sending some money back. You don't ever see him again. Then what?
I'll move on to the next husband. No, I'm still auditioning for that, by the way. Did I mention I should give a website or something.
Yeah. Oh, we need to talk
You
about
asked me if I had an Instagram, and I was thinking, no, but I have Insta-kilos.
What about so you ended up in San Francisco. How long did you stay out there? You were still married, so you just forgot about it?
You know, girl, the truth is I don't really believe in marriage, so it all means nothing. Here's the deal with that.
Except car insurance.
Okay, here's the deal.
Card.
And my man here, boyfriend's going to agree with me. Okay, so marriage is based on trust, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what is the first thing you do when you get married? You sign a contract. It's otherwise known as a marriage certificate. Now, here's my thinking. If I really trust somebody, I don't sign a contract with you. I trust you. So marriage is bullshit. So here's what I want to do the next time I get married. I want to have that wedding with the white dress and the whole deal. Only I'm not going to tell anybody it's not for real. And the only difference will be
It's kind of like your shows.
bam, bam. Yeah, she's seen my act actually. So when the priest or preacher or Buddha or whoever I got assigned to the task says, "Do you take this man?" I just whisper no, and he says no. And you may now kiss the bride, and we collect all the gifts and go off on a honeymoon. And big joke's on you. We're not really married. Right?
All right.
I'm down with that, right? I guess I got to get divorced first, though, before the next round.
Well, not if you're just doing it that way. You don't have to be divorced.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Is there now? What if he's out doing all kinds of stuff? If you're still married, are you financially or legally obligated in any way to something he may be doing?
Depends on which name he's doing it under.
Oh.
You know, like, I don't know. I never thought about that. The reason I think I should get divorced pretty soon is because I want to buy some property. Like, I don't know where this guy is. To be honest with you, I don't know if he's still alive. I got like a 50-50. I'm thinking on that. Just a gut feeling. I'd love to find him, but you know, my luck, I buy some property. Da, 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 here he comes. He's like, give me half of that.
Right. Yeah. Well, okay. So have you even done a search on Google or?
You know, there's a Facebook in Brazil. That's as far as I've gone. It's called the Orkut. And if anybody has any tips on how do you?
But do they have real Facebook in Brazil? Or
yes.
Yeah. So,
but it's in Portuguese, and my Portuguese is not that great. But his family owned a really big farm, and I tried to go. This huge farm, I'd been there, really beautiful and big, and like been there for 200 years. So I tried to do a little research on that, even, and kind of came up empty-handed. So,
is it a Coke farm?
What is it? Shh, don't give the location.
So you really haven't really attempted to do this. How did he end up? You mentioned he cost you thousands, if not millions of dollars.
Well, you know, not millions, but you know, probably tens of thousands when I sent all that money back for the lawyer and then my mother years later told me, and also because he was, I think he got out and he was in her house awaiting trial. And, my mom charged me rent. Shit, she charged me womb rent when I was in the gut. So womb rent. So I sent money back with the purpose of him to give her money also for being at our house. And like 20 years later, I think she said to me, he never gave me any money.
And this surprised you.
Oops. Slippery. A little slippery, that one.
Yeah. So what happens? So then eventually he went somewhere and then you went your way. What have you been doing? What did your life look like?
Well, I'm still auditioning. Life doesn't end after divorce.
No, it doesn't.
I think that should be the name of a show. What do you think?
Just feels like it.
I have dated many. I've never gotten remarried, of course, because I don't believe in it. And I'm still married. Now, that's a tough one to explain on a Bumble date.
And just over coffee.
They're like, how do you throw that out? And the fear is, what if I'm hanging out with you for a while and some relationship evolves and now I have to explain to you that I've been married, but I didn't tell you this sooner?
Right? Yeah.
So I'm like, man, this is tough. So we try to throw it on the table like on the first date. Maybe that's why I don't get that second date. I'm like, oh, by the way, I'm still married and I'm a polygamist. And oh, never mind. Did I mention I used to be a Rajneesh?
And it's even weirder if you're just like, what happened? And then if you say, I was married and they say, what happened to your husband? I don't know. He just mysteriously disappeared. That also is #creepy.
Well, here's my thought on a way to get my money back. So I think the law is if they can't find someone for 7 years, they declare them dead. So I'm like, man, I should take out a life insurance policy on my husband.
Oh.
And then 7 years later, I'd be like, oh, where'd he go? What do you think that's worth? Like $250,000?
I don't know. Yeah. It may have been worth a lot more if you had done it when you were with him.
When I actually knew his social security number and his real name.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So it's weird. So just what is it? I can only imagine some of the conversations you've had on a first date with somebody over this. What's the weirdest one? Like, is anybody really?
That's always hard to talk about, but I started seeing some guy recently and, let's just call him Rugby Guy.
Okay. Rugby Guy.
Met him in a park. He was chatting me up. So I did what the comics do. I was like, you should come to my comedy show.
Yeah, because you get more stage time the more people you have in the audience.
That's my I like where you're going with that, but I was thinking boyfriend, I can get your number. See, that's my angle.
Yeah.
So we chat each other up and this goes on for a little while. And then he says something about he can't have a drink with me because his girlfriend wouldn't like it. And, next thing I know, he wants to go out on a date. So we're actually seeing each other for a little minute, a month and a half. It's all going well until I get a text from his girlfriend who tells me, it gets better, that he escaped rehab to hang out with me. Meanwhile, he's at my house getting hammered. Now, I may drink a little bit, but if you're sneaking out of rehab to drink with me, I'm more offended by that than the fact that you have a girlfriend at home. Like, man, I don't want to mess up and give you your chip back and all that, right? You got to stay sober. So this girl texts me, unbeknownst to me, and she's saying really sad things like, if he admits it, I'll take him back. Boyfriend. Is that his eyebrows shot up to the ceiling? Like, this girl's programmed in the wrong direction.
Right?
So it was all I could do to not send this text back to her. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What about the baby?
Oh, no.
I so wanted to, but it ain't her fault. She's clearly got some issues.
Yeah.
But you just never, and I met this guy in person, wasn't even from the internet.
Yeah. Was it a park here in Long Beach?
It was.
Yeah. There's your first sign. Flag.
Oh my God. How did you know? Okay. Note to self. Don't pick up. Horny Corner, I guess, is a great place to meet dudes.
Oh, really?
That like other dudes.
Oh. Just for our listeners, there's a place in Long Beach called the Horny Corner.
Google calls it that. It's officially called that.
Really?
Yes. Look it up right now. Horny Corner.
Yeah. Check it out, you guys. It's a real place. We've all been there. We drive by it all the time.
Yeah.
Straight down the street.
We've all been there, girl.
Like, and I've been there. Wow.
So I'm auditioning boyfriends right now. Currently, I don't know. I got a little mix going on. You know, I have this Mexican musician. I've got this Argentinian artist I see. But what I'm really looking for is I like a nice Jewish boy.
Yeah?
I do.
Really?
I do. I love a guy that loves his mama. But more importantly, when you're making out with a Jewish guy, there's never a Jesus in the room watching. You know that picture where he follows you around the room? Now, there's a good chance his mom may come down to his room.
Right. Yes.
But there won't be a Jesus. So seriously, nice Jewish boy.
So do you have any looks requirements, or you're not picky?
You know, I don't really know. I know what I like. I know what I like when I like it, when I see it. But I have some kind of bizarre taste. Like, I'm not really into dudes. I'm blue-eyed, red hair, white girl. So I kind of like them dark and swarthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like funny guys, serious guys?
Funny guys.
Oh, you thinking what I'm thinking, boyfriend?
Oh, you got someone?
Yeah, our previous guest, Vic Cohen.
Oh, does he live with his mom?
No, he doesn't.
Ah, damn it.
But he loves his mom. And he's
Okay.
fantastic and he's hilarious and he's Jewish.
Is he a doctor?
No, he's a comic.
Oh,
He's
God.
a comedian.
Well, and there we have trouble.
Yes, when you put two comedians together.
You know, here's the problem with that. You date a comic, and next thing you know, you go to do that free bringer open mic, and the guy that controls it's your ex-boyfriend and won't let you get up and do your 3 minutes.
I know. It's so
God
true.
dang it. I paid good money to be here, bitch. Let me have my 3 minutes.
Yeah. So what apps are you on? Are you on dating apps? Bumble?
I'm on US Bank and ADP and Weather. The Weather is my favorite.
The favorite app?
Weather.
Yeah.
Modern Hiker's good too. I like that.
Modern Hyper.
You know, I did try to do a little Bumble, but God dang, I tried that Plenty of Fish. I ended up with fish with mercury poisoning. I'm afraid the bees are going to be extinct if I go in there. So,
Oh my God. I will never forget my first boyfriend I ever had said he'd get things mixed up. And he said, well, there's plenty of fish in the boat. Like, I don't think those are the ones I want. I don't think those are the ones I want.
is he a rock scientist?
No.
Hey, how did you guys meet?
Starbucks.
Is that an app? Is that a dating site?
Yes, it's a physical dating site. Yeah.
This one right over here?
This one right over here on Second and Covina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and you're a straight man in Belmont Shore. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. You know, maybe the reason I'm not scoring is I have this water bottle in my hands right now that says, I love Beaver. It's a town in Utah. And then I have this scarf that I wear a lot, and it's a chakra scarf. So it has all the colors of the rainbow.
Oh,
So I'm
there
walking
you-
around the neighborhood with a rainbow scarf and a water bottle that says, I love Beaver. And I wonder why people think I'm a lesbian.
That could be it.
Yeah. Well, maybe I should try that. I'm not kidding.
You might have more
Maybe
luck.
a nice Brazilian girl who's
There you
looking to get a
go.
green card.
So, do you have any plans to locate our mystery husband?
God, I really don't have any idea how to do that. But I've been feeling it lately. I feel like I should find him. And to be honest with you, I would go back to Brazil in a heartbeat.
To him?
Not necessarily to him, but God,
You haven't really ruled that out, have you?
No, but the country is so phenomenal. Well, it was when I was there, and the people are just wonderful. I'm not a big fan of, say, like Rio. As a matter of fact, it's filthy. Ipanema and Copacabana, filthy. Thank you, EPA of Brazil. But the mountains and the people are just wonderful. And, you know, I don't mind being a waterfall hunter again.
Yeah.
That would not be a problem.
Have you had any long-term relationships since then that you want to share about?
Doctor, I don't want to talk about. No.
I thought you were going to say you dated a doctor. I'm like, you shall.
I think you're getting to the heart of the matter here, doctor. No, I have not had any long-term relationships.
Oh.
Yeah, I've had some crushes. I have a tendency to like artistic musicians.
Well, yeah. Oh, musician.
I like musicians.
Oh, well, this explains why there's no long-term relationships.
Same thing as a comic, right?
Yeah.
Only with nowhere to live.
Right. Yeah.
What's the joke? What do you call a musician without a girlfriend? Homeless. Yeah. So do you know who my big crush is? Do you guys, does anybody know who Rush is? The band Rush?
Yeah.
Geddy Lee.
You like Geddy Lee?
That is, oh my God, my heart beats since I was 15 years old. I have had the biggest crush on Geddy Lee. So,
and he's an interesting looking man.
Very nice way to say it. He's a very interesting looking guy. So maybe that's where the Jewish guy thing came in. And I like the beady eyes like that and kind of a hooky nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that. You guys are
like, okay, we know your type.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to have some good kissable lips, though. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So, yeah. Or Brazilians. I'm taking applications for Brazilians.
Brazilians or Geddy Lee?
Brazilian Geddy Lee. Oh, God. If you're listening right now, Brazilian Geddy Lee. I will create a Facebook just to lure you in. I will drug you to do you.
Oh my God. We already talked about like the fact that if you remarry, it's going to be like a secret non-marriage.
God, look at me and all these secrets, but you're getting them all out of me today.
Yeah. They're not secrets anymore, Kathleen.
You know, I don't talk about half this stuff on stage. I'm like, God, there's some things not everybody needs to know.
Is there anything else that people don't need to know about you?
Oh my God. Okay. So yes. Did anybody see Wild Wild Country?
Yes.
I was one of those people.
Really? You mentioned it earlier, and I wasn't going to.
I wondered if you heard that.
You said it, and I was just like,
my spiritual name that was given to me by the man I still love today, named Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, and it was not a cult. Bhagwan was a philosopher who ends up.
Is this this is what
Wild Wild Country.
Yeah.
So my Rajneesh name, I can tell you that a lot of my friends know me by my Rajneesh name. It's Vit Kalpana, which means beyond imagination, and that was given to me by Bhagwan when I went to the compounds for the first time when they had the tents. It was the first festival. About 100,000 people showed up is all. And I came from Hawaii and I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to, But I went, and before I went home, I was like, all right, give me one of those necklaces and give me one of those names. And they said, we can't do that. You have to meditate for 30 days. But their whole thing was like, be here now. So I was like, you said be here now. I'm not leaving without a name and a necklace. All right. So yes, I used to go to Rajneesh Puram about 4 times a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you end up becoming involved and going, and like, where did this?
That had to do with the first boyfriend. So when I lived in Columbus, God, should I try to make it fast? I lived in Columbus, Ohio, and I hated it my whole life. I kept trying to get out. And I fell in love with this guy. We worked in this weird little convention center, and in the basement under the concerts was a hair salon and a jewelry store and all this stuff. He was a jeweler, and I worked at the hair salon. I'd see him walk by every day, and he had this long hair. He was like sexy Jesus, which is another issue apparently I have, and we'll talk about later. Sexy Jesus. And man, I was smitten, and I met this guy, and he was on his way to move to Hawaii. I had very limited time to spend with him, and he was the first love of my life, Swami Prem Geet Sako. And so he moved to Hawaii, and he was one of these Rajneesh guys. And I'd been a couple different religions by then. I'd been Catholic, Apostolic, Baptist. You know, I'd kind of been searching for something that felt right. And he plays this tape for me. Can I say the F word?
Yeah.
The fuck tape by Bhagwan. And it's this tape spoken in Pune, India. But when Bhagwan was in Pune and he was doing this discourse, and this lady says, Bhagwan, I love you, but I hate it when you say fuck. And he said, fuck is the most beautiful word in the English language. Fuck can be used as adjective. Maddie fuck John. Fuck can be used as noun. I got fucked. And he goes on, and it's like a half an hour long. And I was like, oh, what's this? And and then the guy moved to Hawaii, and I went to visit and stayed in Hawaii, and all my housemates were Rajneesh. And I don't know how I ended up flying to Oregon. As a matter of fact, on my way there, I'm a skier, and there was all these beautiful mountains that had glaciers on top, and the bus kept stopping, and I kept thinking, shit, where's my skis? I don't want to go to this thing. I want to go skiing. And once I got there, though, man, it kind of ripped my head open a little bit. It was wow. Just so we're clear here, that whole sex cult part of it, that's what the Oregonians wanted to represent of it. They show movies and clips, even in the thing of people doing tantric meditation or kundalini, and they're just bouncing around naked. And, they want you to think that you walk in, it's like this big orgy. Sure, everybody was hooking up. You have people from all over the world that haven't seen each other in a while or
ever.
That's a good way to start.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't get into all of this net and all that. But I wish it still existed today, man. And I can't believe they did a documentary about it. I could barely get through it.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I was wondering.
Yeah.
Because we watched most of it.
Man, I can almost start crying right now and talking. Sheila, in the beginning, I used to write her. I wrote her a letter in the beginning, and I was just like, you are. I don't know how you did this. This is so fantastic. My hat's off to you. I mean, I went on and on about. I had a Sheila crush about what a great job. How do you get all these people together, do this party, and have them leave and have no evidence? Before Burning Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she just went a little power crazy. I didn't know her side of the story. So when I first started watching, I couldn't stand the sound of her voice. I wanted to stab the TV. I couldn't. It was really hard for me. And by the end of it, I felt like I love them both still. Can I love them both? Am I allowed to? Is that okay? Really?
Wow.
Did you think that the documentary was pretty accurate?
Yes. And I love the guy that did it. He was there. I do think it was accurate, but the point I wanted to make was, so the people of Oregon were pretty blown away because, anything different is kind of terrifying. But what they used to say all the time, they'd have like a picture on the front page of the paper, and it would be us next to the Rolls Royce when he drives by. And they would say, free love at Rajneesh Porno. And I'm thinking, dude, if you're paying for your love, baby, you got the problem. What is that? But I have a really good Bhagwan story. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
This is such a great story. So at one of the parties, my girlfriend and I we were late to show up for the lineup where the car goes by. I was carrying around a puppet. Don't ask. A puppet that it was a little monkey, and it had a mala too and a pink t-shirt and the whole nine. And anyway, so we went to the nude lake because they had a regular lake and a nude lake. We went to the nude lake, and we were wandering back that day. And at this point, they tried to keep good track of us. Like, we got searched on the way in. We couldn't bring drugs in. And trust me, I tried because they were worried somebody would get busted. So there was a lot of rules and regulations. And, they tried to keep it pretty tight when the parties were happening. So my girlfriend and I were on the side of the road taking a pee, and here comes the Rolls Royce. And we're so stunned that here comes Bhagwan that we're like standing up, pulling the pants. We can't decide what to do. In the end, we end up standing there with our pants around our ankles, with our hands in front of us in prayer mode as Bhagwan drives by. And I've never seen him with such a big smile ever in my entire time hanging out with him. I'm so glad I got that moment with him because, he was in silence then, and it wasn't like I could go to his house and hang out or anything. I mean, I got to be in the room, that big auditorium space many times with him, but, not like one-on-one. But he did give me the name V. Kalpana. So.
Wow.
Dang, are we still talking about comedy? You are taking...
Right? No,
I'm tearing up, man.
I'm fascinated by your stories and your life experience.
Hey, listen, if you want to read some good stuff, Bhagwan's got some good teachings. Basically what he did was he took Jesus, Zarathustra, Lao Tzu, Buddha, all these different masters, sort of meshed it together and said, they're all right. This is it. And the big thing that Bhagwan used to say, to not be confused, is he's like, if you think I'm the guy, you're misinterpreting this whole thing. What you're looking for is within yourself. You have to figure out how to find that. So don't get confused and think you got to follow me and I'm the dude and the deal. So, that's how I met. That's why in San Francisco, all my friends were from other countries. I'm pretty sure they were all Rajneesh people.
Oh, okay.
And so if you walk down the street, there'd be a house of people here, and around the corner, there's another house of people there.
Really?
And, yeah. At one point, it was dating this guy who's from Spain. This is before I met the Brazilian. And I had this Japanese roommate, and everybody was talking about the green card. And I just figured out that I didn't legally need one. It was all these other people that did. And I was worried about motives of somebody trying to date me. So I looked at this Japanese roommate of mine. I was like, Sundaram, would you marry me? And he goes, yeah. And as soon as he said that, the Spanish guy I was dating got up, walked out of the house, and I never saw him again. Oh, so apparently he was looking for a green card too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that explains why you knew so many people from all over
Yeah.
the world. So you were really young when
18, 19. Yeah, 19, I think.
So what about your parents? What did they think when you ran off and did these explorations? and
Yeah,
Did
experiments?
they know? Because
Yeah.
you went to Hawaii
My parents
first.
never really, I was like a house plant. They just watered me. I moved out when I was 14. So,
Holy cow.
yeah.
You were
So they
young.
weren't really keeping track of me by the time I was 18. And then my parents were in the middle of a divorce. So they had their own deal. All I knew was I was so far away. I'm like, if I go to this place, I didn't even know where Maui was. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're not going to come and get me if I go to Maui. Nobody's coming to get me.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is when my mom and my dad divorced, I was like really unsure how they would accept this whole deal I was up to, changing my name and wearing these clothes and getting involved with this guy with the Rolls Royces. So I sent my mom a letter, and it was addressed to her maiden name for my Rajneesh name. And I got a letter back in Maui, Hawaii, addressed to my Rajneesh name for my mother's maiden name. And that said everything right there. I didn't even need to open the letter. I was like, she's on board. Yes.
Yep.
So,
Wow. And did you open the letter and read it?
oh yeah.
Okay.
But the most important
Good
part of
thing
it
was-
was that part, because I still remember that, but I don't remember what was in the letter, you know?
Wow.
No,
Yeah.
but that was her way of saying I
Accept-
accept. and-
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then my dad's funny because when I told him I was marrying the Brazilian, we'd been together for a minute. And my dad was on like his third marriage, and he goes, you know, when I got married, it was supposed to be for I was like, that's right. Shut up. For what, Dad? For life? Is that what?
Wow. Wow. So you left when you were 14 and you've had some incredible experiences.
Yeah, I got to write a book. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
No kidding. So I'm almost wondering, should I ask, is there any other things we should know about Kathleen?
Oh my God. Well,
Yeah.
we would need so much more time, and we'd have to put it into the book. I have some Hunter Thompson stories, but I'll save that for the next time. I hung out with Hunter Thompson a little bit in San Francisco. That guy was a trip. But so these days, just, you know, doing a little secret comedy, and
I like how you try and keep this all low key. Well, no, not much. But did I tell you about the time when I joined this group of people?
matter of fact, can I hand y'all a pamphlet? I have pamphlets for everybody.
We're going to be finding
Don't
them
drink
all
that
over.
juice, girl. You said.
Do you still keep in touch with people?
You know, it's really tough because everybody had the Rajneesh name, and I didn't really know a lot of people's real names. So I've been trying to figure out how to go about that. I friended the guy that did the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now, the lawyer, and Philippe something. Anyway, I was hoping to see some friends of his friends, because I only know everybody by like Sungeet, you know,
Yeah.
names like that, Renew, you know, I don't know what anybody's real name is.
Yeah,
in
that
those
would be
days.
that'd be hard to find out.
And I'm sure, I'm guessing that even if there was a way for everyone to put their real name with it, they probably wouldn't want to.
Yeah. I seem to have a theme going here
Yeah.
with the real names.
Yeah. See, I thought it was just me with a boyfriend and Mom Anonymous. But,
They always have a nickname, right?
Mhm. Yep. Always go with a nickname.
It's always good. Like Carrie and Mr. Big.
Yes.
Listen, guys, you're doing bad when she calls you Mr. Little, though.
Yeah, then it's not a compliment.
If you're in her phone as Mr. Little or asshole,
Not a compliment.
don't you love when women are talking about their man and they'll go blah, blah, blah. So asshole this or asshole that. I'm like, damn, when you refer to your better half as asshole, maybe it's time to bail out, right?
Right? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It makes you wonder.
I want to make a t-shirt that says change is something you make out of $1, not your boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Market that.
Yeah.
Don't steal
Yeah.
that. I'm still working on that one.
All right, everybody steal that. I like it.
So the online boyfriend we were talking about earlier, I just haven't had any luck. Clearly, I need to hang out at a Starbucks more.
See what it's right right by your house, like Starbucks.
God, I make my own coffee. Like, am I such a rare individual?
All you do is just buy it once and then go in there with an empty cup, set it in front of you and work all day. You think everybody in there buys that stuff every day?
Oh my God, as long as it's not the coffee shop down the street a little bit where all the old dudes hang out.
Which one?
Like the corner. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not just me then, right?
No.
Not just me. Well,
No.
I did tried to do the like online boyfriend thing, and I don't know. I mean, I can't even shop online. When I buy something, it's like green instead of blue, or it's like too small.
I can't
or
shop
it doesn't
online either.
have any power. So then I looked for a boyfriend online. Guess what? He was the wrong size, the wrong color, and also broken. I should have known.
Right.
And Amazon, do they have a boyfriend? Amazon Prime? They should call it Prime Meat. Amazon Prime Meat.
There you go. Right?
Yeah, let's get on that.
Hey, they're missing out on a big opportunity there.
Do you find yourself having conversations with people now when you don't like what they're saying? You just like reach out and swipe left?
No, but I should.
Because I'm doing that to your boyfriend right now. So let's talk about you now that I've had my therapy session.
No, we love it. We love it.
I think I need a shower after this.
I think we all do. Group shower. Okay.
I told you I wasn't into that group thing.
Yeah.
We made that clear.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of this with us. I think our minds have been blown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and please make sure you don't come to my comedy show. It is
a
on
secret.
September 26th, 8:00. And what was the other thing? Oh, I wanted to mention also the Comedy Central.
Yes. I hear you're doing a Comedy Central.
I am. They're
thing.
finally going to air the Comedy Central. It's going to be October 6th. And all you have to do is look really close. You'll see me sitting there in the second row. I'm the one not laughing. It's the Bill Cosby Show, sponsored by Jell-O Roofie Pops. Too soon?
No.
It's never too soon
never
for some
Never too
roofies.
soon. Never too soon.
Roofies.
For
Ooh, roofies. That's another story, but we'll save that for next time.
I don't know. Are you sure?
I had a boyfriend. His nickname was Roofie, but we'll save that.
All right. Thank you so much, Kathleen.
It was
really
a pleasure. I had a
appreciate
Thank you
great
very
time.
much.
Yes.
And if any federal people are listening, again, my name is Kathleen Parsons. Just to be clear. Thank you. It was so much fun, you guys.
it. All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
Good night.